Tech titans are changing their minds about dividends. On Tuesday, Dell announced its first ever dividend, with plans for a quarterly payment beginning in the third quarter of the current fiscal year. Dell follows in the footsteps of fellow heavyweights Apple and Cisco, other famous dividend non-payers who changed their strategies. According to a recent report by Moody's, dividend payments by technology companies are expected to rise 14% in 2012 from a year ago.
Well, I think that we're entering a new stage of tech. A lot of these companies now are a lot more mature, and we've seen this as a real trend. We've seen Dell change its dividend strategy, so did Apple, so did Cisco, but they're only just a few of a bunch of tech companies that have made this big change over the last year or two. Companies that have either initiated their first dividend or reinstituted a dividend after not having one for many, many years.
Why do tech companies resist the notions of dividends to begin with?
Typically, these companies wanted the cash for growth, basically. They wanted to use it for things like M&A. But what we're seeing now, these companies are older, they don't necessarily need to dive into their cash to drive growth. They're bigger companies and they can maintain their own momentum. So really now there's a push towards maybe returning some of that value to shareholders.
So what does this week's announcement mean for Dell and its investors?
Dell investors haven't had the easiest time of it recently. The stock has really been driven down. We saw that Dell shares rose in the aftermath of the dividend announcement, so they're clearly welcoming this move. Does this deliver shareholder value? Yeah, completely. But for me, what I want to hear is more from Dell about what it's going to do to expand beyond its core business. We all know about what it does in PCs, but what's it going to do around enterprise? What's it going to do in services? What's it going to do in cloud? These are real big hot areas. And I want to see how Dell is going to deliver growth in those areas moving forward.